Hi, I'm Eric Claiborne, and in this short presentation, I'm going to reveal a controversial lazy man secret that may force your body to reverse and even diminish lack of energy, poor blood circulation, sleeping problems while strengthening your immune system as well. By using an ancient technique that's been used for thousands of years by villagers in rural China, something called blood flow manipulation, allowing you to possibly relax your blood vessels, nerves, and muscles to help the body move more freely, no matter if you aren't in top shape or the best of health, and doing it all without any expensive pills, any complicated diets, or tiresome physical exercises. And that's now been studied by researchers at Harvard and other top universities around the world, who gather more and more evidence, building a compelling case for this ancient technique, which can help you strengthen your immune system, regulate your blood pressure, improve balance and flexibility, while helping you maintain a healthy weight. If this sounds hard to believe, I completely understand. Trust me, I was always the last person on earth to believe in Eastern medicine or healing, and I was absolutely shocked when I started using these strange and ancient techniques and found that I could get more energetic and alert as if I just slept for 5 hours in just doing this from the very comfort of my home. Plus, I was able to reap the same aging young benefits as these rural Chinese had. Now I seem to look physically younger, just like they do, and I even feel much younger, and I'm not alone. In fact, over 21,460 people, just like you, have applied this same secret I'm about to share with you inside this presentation and used it to reinvigorate themselves with incredible results, allowing them to experience a new sense of confidence and freedom, just like Timothy Koski from Fairfield, California did. He writes, "Just the thought of going to the gym after work, going to a social event, or even going to see my kids and grandkids used to make me feel tired and exhausted. My health was just ruining my life. But now that I've used what I learned in your presentation, I not only feel younger, but I look younger too. My cholesterol levels and blood pressure have also dropped significantly, which was totally unexpected." And Nick Risso from Chicago, Illinois, he writes, "I was skeptical when I first came across your presentation, especially since nothing I've tried ever seemed to work for me. I mean, I've had a weak immune system for decades. I was constantly worried about catching another fever or flu, and it sure felt like I was aging fast. I mean, not only was I feeling older, but I was looking like it too. And no matter what I did, I just couldn't get any of this under control. I felt trapped and I felt like a huge burden. Well, what you shared in your presentation gave me my life back. I followed the simple steps to strengthen my immune system, and now my family can barely keep up with me. But perhaps the best part is that I'm starting to look and feel years younger. Thank you for saving my life." Those are just a few of the success stories I hear every day from people who've turned their lives completely around, going from feeble, sick, or even bedridden to becoming once again healthy and filled with youthful energy. Now, I'll show you all the modern science and research on what I've discovered, which explains why these natural, medication-free techniques work, and how to get the maximum results from them. But first, it's important for me to tell you more about who I am and how I came across this life-changing secret that may naturally lower your blood pressure while helping your body and immune system in the fight against the ravishing effects of aging. So, like I said, my name is Eric Claiborne. I'm 59 years old and I live just outside of Lawrence, Massachusetts. And about 2 years ago, I was offered the opportunity of a lifetime. You see, I've been a freelance travel writer for nearly 40 years now, so I'm speaking from personal experience when I say that my type of work isn't always steady. But you can just imagine how ecstatic I felt when I was offered an advance of $68,000 by a major publication just to do what I loved the most. The offer was to travel to China for a few months and write about life in rural villages. And although I didn't speak Mandarin very fluently, I was still ecstatic that I got this amazing opportunity and amazing pay to go along with it. But there was just one problem. I wasn't exactly the healthiest person around. Heck, I was probably near the bottom of the barrel of health now that I stop and think about it. For years, I was a major insomniac, and with that came the feeling of low energy pretty much all the time, and I was constantly feeling irritable and moody. No matter what I tried, diet, exercise, pills, nothing seemed to work for any of this. It also felt like my immune system was on its last leg, getting colds and fevers left and right, depending on things like Dayquil and Tylenol to keep me going. And you'd never see me without a box of tissues lying around. I also had on and off bouts of brain fog to boot, being unable to focus, forgetting things, getting easily confused. I was even worried that I was on the brink of developing something like dementia or Alzheimer's, and I really had no idea what was causing all of this. But despite all these obstacles, I was still able to lead a successful career. And I'm not the type to let something like a fever or lack of sleep slow me down. So my health issues weren't going to stop me from the opportunity I was given to visit China. So I sucked it up like a man and decided to press on forward. And as soon as I touched down in Shanghai, it was time to get to work. I first traveled to the rural villages of Tongxi, and then took a private vehicle to Wuyuan. And I began conducting some interviews with all the locals, using translators along with whatever Mandarin I was able to speak. Well, it was pretty fascinating hearing from all these villages about what life in rural China was like. But what ended up being by far the most shocking thing I learned had nothing to do with what they actually told me, but rather what I observed with my own two eyes. You see, there was a recurring trend in these villages. Families regularly consisted of not just grandparents, but even great-grandparents as well. In fact, I got so accustomed to meeting men and women who were in their late 90s that it just somehow became the norm. But what was so surprising to me wasn't just that all of these men and women were living to such a ripe old age, but that they routinely looked like they were 20, even 30 years younger than they actually were. Now, you may not think that this is that big of a deal, but keep in mind that many of the rural Chinese don't have access to even the most essential or basic medical care. It's even estimated that 80% of health and medical services are concentrated in China's urban cities, which means that timely medical care isn't available to over 100 million people in rural areas. On top of that, I also learned the rural Chinese definitely don't have it easy in their day-to-day lives. And in my eyes, their conditions should be making them even more prone to aging and disease. I mean, a typical farmer works long hours on a daily basis, grows rice, corn, and vegetables on about a half-acre of land, and has very little income to support themselves with. They even live in simple wooden houses, use outhouses for their bathrooms, and they cook in shacks over open fireplaces. So, with all of that being said, you can probably understand why it was a great mystery to me that they're living so much longer than people in the U.S., and why it didn't seem to make sense that all of those ancient Chinese villagers look younger than most 55-year-olds here in the States. Well, these questions continued to nag me every single day as I was visiting these rural villages. But it wasn't until I made my way to a village called Shidi next to Nanping Village that I finally got the answers I was looking for. It happened as I was conducting an interview inside the home of one of the village's most respected families. We were talking about their culture, their life, etc., when I heard something pretty unusual. There were these weird noises and breathing sounds coming from the back of the house. Out of fear of being disrespectful to these elders, I kept talking and tried to ignore the sounds. But the noises simply wouldn't go away, and they were pretty distracting. So, once there was a lull in the conversation, I simply asked if they were hearing the same noise I was. And all they told me was that it was the great-grandfather, Bao, doing his exercise routine. Now, as a travel writer, I'm up for exploring anything that piques my interest, especially something that has to do with exercise in a village where there were no weights, no treadmills, no workout equipment whatsoever. "Would you like to have a look?" they asked. After eagerly saying yes, they took me back to the room to have a quick look at how these exercises were done. But all I really saw was the great-grandfather Bao inhaling and exhaling slowly, and then doing a set of strange, controlled movements with his body. Now, I should add that he wasn't doing aerobics or anything. In fact, the movements he was doing were so simple and basic that I even wondered how something like this could be considered exercise. It's an ancient practice, they told me. He does it for 5 minutes almost every day. It's called Nai Gong, and it's an internal martial arts technique that helps your body get stronger and healthier. Well, while this was definitely interesting to watch, I was honestly skeptical of how this exercise could benefit you at all if you're not lifting weights or even breaking a sweat. But here's the funny part. After visiting more homes in this village, I started noticing the eldest family members all practicing similar breathing exercises and doing almost the exact same body movements Bao had been doing in his home the other day. And it had me thinking that maybe there was something to this. Because this ancient practice seemed to have caught on like wildfire in this rural village, and I really wanted to know why. So without hesitation, I respectfully asked many of these families if I could sit in on some of these practices, and to my surprise, they agreed. So I woke up early and visited one family each day, recording what sorts of movements they were doing, writing down the rhythm and pace, and learning what they were and how they worked. Most of the elderly seemed genuinely happy to see that a foreigner had taken an interest into this sort of thing, since it was something they practiced regularly, but assumed nobody in Western culture gave a damn about it. And as I was studying their practice of this internal martial art, I learned a little bit more about how it works, and I'll go ahead and give you the idea behind it right now. The internal martial art, called Nai Gong, is about developing internal power through a process the Chinese called blood flow manipulation. And the way to do this is to use a few simple and quick movements where your breath is matched with movements of the blood, which ends up affecting the way blood circulates through the body. What this basically means is that you can use these breathing and movement techniques to direct blood flow to a particular area of your body. So if you have an infection or wound, your body may direct blood flow to this particular area. Or, if you have high blood pressure, you may gently regulate your blood circulation through your arteries and veins. Yes, I know it sounds crazy. I thought that too at the beginning. But suspend your skepticism for a second, keep an open mind, and hear me out. It's just like when you are aroused. Your breathing increases, and your body knows to direct blood flow to your penis, giving you an erection. In this case, you're essentially using your mind to send blood to a specific organ in your body. But this increased blood flow doesn't have to just be targeted to just your member. It can be sent to other vital organs too. Just like how when you get excited or scared, more blood pumps to your heart. You didn't do anything physically. Your body simply knew to direct more blood flow to your heart. These practices relax blood vessels, nerves, and muscles to help the body move more freely, causing a whole list of additional benefits like relieving physical and emotional stress, strengthening your immune system, regulating blood pressure, improving mental clarity, and maintaining a healthy weight. Plus, the energy you may gain from them is incredible, because the added blood flow has the potential to oxygenate all of the cells in your body, including in your brain, which replicates the effects of a full night's sleep, but in a matter of about 5 minutes. To be honest, the health benefits seemed to be endless, and I was eager to learn more. Plus, the villagers must have taken a liking to my genuine curiosity, because some of them even let me begin training with them. And as I did these blood flow manipulation exercises over the next few days, I began noticing that my headaches and sinus issues were quickly disappearing, and it felt like I was experiencing some kind of natural high throughout the entire day. But even though I was starting to feel better, I didn't give up on the practice. I continued to see these families every morning for training, so as the days turned to weeks, and as I practiced for just 5 minutes a day with different families across the village, I realized this blood flow manipulation had me thinking, looking, and feeling better than I had in years. My chronic fever symptoms were showing up less and less. My brain fog finally lifted, and I was thinking clearer and focusing better than I had in decades. And aside from the fact that this was a no-impact exercise on your joint and knees and was extremely easy to do, and the fact that I was feeling incredible bursts of energy, the best part was probably that I was finally sleeping like a newborn baby every night. I even lost 8 pounds over that month and started looking physically younger. And I wasn't taking any pills. I wasn't seeing any doctors. I wasn't following any restrictive diets or exhausting exercise routines. And I definitely wasn't sitting in a cave somewhere just visualizing that all my health problems disappeared. It was truly incredible. And in the end, it just made me even harder to leave Shidai. But as all good things come to an end, I eventually made my way back to my home in Massachusetts after my little expedition in rural China. And I was still struck by what I learned and how much my health improved. So as soon as the dust settled, I found myself spending most of my time in front of my computer, researching more about Neigong, how it keeps us young, and how it gives us all sorts of other benefits. Because if this ancient practice could help me this much in so little time, and also potentially help thousands of elderly Chinese live much longer, then the chance was great that it could help millions of people across the world too. So my first thought was that I could use modern science to understand exactly how it really works, and use that as leverage to convince the rest of the world that the benefits of Neigong are truly amazing. Well, it turned out that finding the hard science was definitely a challenge, and although it wasn't easy, it was kind of like a game to me, like putting together a challenging puzzle piece by piece as you wait in anticipation for what the big picture will finally look like. And thank God I persisted, because what I eventually found was the missing piece of the puzzle, pretty much bridging the gap between modern science and what I learned about in rural China. What I learned was that Neigong and blood flow manipulation increase blood flow to your vital organs, which especially directs blood flow to your lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is just a network of tissues and organs that help rid the body of toxins, waste, and it also transports fluids containing white blood cells throughout the body. And to understand more about white blood cells, I turned to an internet health database and got a refresher of Biology 101. What I learned about white blood cells is that they fight infections and diseases. So getting these to circulate throughout the body is an excellent way to repair wounds, infections, and other toxins and free radicals. And one of the special cells that the lymphatic organs and nodes create are T cells, which help to destroy infected or cancerous cells. So when your body is fighting off a disease or infection or trying to destroy toxins and waste, it sends white blood cells, and especially those T cells, to the rescue. But for major diseases, generally your white blood cells can't get to the damaged cells in time. In other words, by the time your body starts responding, the mutations have already occurred. The cellular damage is done, and it's game over. And this goes back to Neigong's blood flow manipulation and why it's such a powerful technique. You see, by increasing blood flow to your lymphatic system, you're constantly sending reinforcements of healthy white blood cells and T cells. As a result, your system may better fight against potential illnesses from the very start, rather than kick in after it may be a little too late. On top of that, university studies by Harvard, Stanford, and UC Berkeley confirm the regenerative effects of increased blood flow circulation, as well as how it replenishes the body and prevents age-related health decline. It basically undoes the negative impact that poor circulation has on your body. Because poor circulation is often a silent killer, with its symptoms being overlooked for years. It's not just tingling or cold hand or feet that are a result of poor circulation, but lack of hair growth can happen, and dangerous blood clots can also develop, then travel to the heart or lungs and block major veins and arteries, leading to serious problems like heart attacks, strokes, and ultimately, death. So the increased blood flow may help to clear out your arteries, improving the glow of your skin, helping nutrients reach your hair follicles to keep them strong. Plus, with Gong, you may also experience an incredible burst of energy as well. Because as I already mentioned, you are oxygenating your entire body and replicating the effects of sleep. So, in a nutshell, think of it this way. The blood flow in your body is like several streams. Over the years, some of these streams may dry out, become dammed up, or become polluted and toxic. And using Gong may allow you to suddenly replenish all these streams with vital, nutrient-rich, healing blood cells, while sending a refreshing wave over the entire body. But even though that all sounds great, here's the tricky part. Some websites I came across were pushing other dangerous or ineffective methods to try and accomplish the same thing that Gong does. For example, there are also pills or supplements that supposedly help with this kind of thing. However, they come with a laundry list of side effects and can be pretty expensive. You could also change your diet and eat more nitrate-rich foods to try and help increase blood flow. But the problem with that is that they can be dangerous and harmful when you eat too much of those. Then finally, there's regular exercise. But the main problem with ordinary exercise is that the blood circulation effects wear off pretty fast. And besides those websites pushing these other methods, there were other sites owned by random people who claimed to be experts at Gong. But what was funny was that none of them were actually teaching what the rural villagers did. I mean, it's almost like these online experts were just learning it at some sort of seminar or even just made some of this stuff up, because what the ancient villagers were all doing was quite different. And this actually got me concerned that other people who wanted to learn Gong were given false information. This filled me with a mix of anger, humiliation, and determination. I mean, while it was absurd that there were a bunch of frauds parading around claiming to be Gong experts, at the same time, they were probably just rehashing the false techniques that they learned, and on the cycle went, and they didn't know any better. So with that, I decided to conduct a little experiment, which was creating a guide with illustrated instructions for how to perform each exercise that I personally learned from the elders in Shidi. Exactly why you perform them, and how often you should practice. I began posting the guide on some paid martial arts and alternative healing forums in order to spread the word. I mentioned how I discovered everything and my excursion in rural China, and I mentioned all that I learned about the methodology and modern science behind it. The main purpose of this experiment was to clear up confusion about Gong and other similar practices, and to spread the word about the authentic form and methodology that I learned in Shidai. But as an aside, I also wanted to see if others would experience the same amazing results that the rural Chinese had, the same results that I began experiencing for myself only a few months prior. And while I was pretty nervous about putting myself out there in the first place, nothing would prepare me for the shock I experienced at what happened next. It was actually incredible. Right away, people began reporting back all sorts of peculiar and baffling results. Not only were they feeling more energized, more flexible, and stronger, not only were some of their worst cases of hypertension finally improving, even when many felt hopeless for years, but these people were also looking thinner, and were thinking clearer and sharper. Plus, everyone who posted pictures of their progress appeared to look physically younger. It got to the point where I was having a hard time believing what I was witnessing. But at the same time, I realized that I shouldn't have been surprised. After seeing the rural Chinese experience these exact same benefits, as well as myself, I should have known I already had all the proof I needed right there. But with this newfound confidence and inspiration I got from all these other people who have benefited from my little experiment, I decided that I should up the ante and begin getting the word out to as many people as possible across the entire world. So to start, one of the best things I got from my experience in China was witnessing in person the elders practice the movements as well as the breathing exercises. It just made so much more sense to watch someone do it and revise the illustrated guide altogether. The result is an entire program I packaged into what I call the 5-minute energy routine. The quick and simple way to feel energized with just 5 minutes of daily practice. And you'll be able to access it in a second, but first, let me explain exactly what you'll find inside. In the 5-minute energy routine, you'll be shown the 10 Neigong exercises known only to the most remote regions of rural China. These have been passed down for hundreds of years and are based on the art of internal martial arts. And they've been scientifically shown to increase blood flow to all of the vital organs in the body, strengthen the immune system, and increase your body's overall resistance. You'll get detailed, illustrated instructions for how to perform each exercise, and learn these exercises in a matter of minutes. Next, inside the 5-minute energy routine program, you'll receive a list of 7 breathing exercises that you can do anywhere, at home, your car, your work, wherever, and that have been scientifically proven to further increase your blood flow and reoxygenate the cells in your body, and do it without any side effect-filled prescriptions, expensive procedures, or lengthy doctor visits. Plus, these exercises are not strenuous or vigorous whatsoever, meaning you can do them no matter your age, state of health, or level of fitness. And to date, more than 21,460 people across the world have already experienced the incredible regenerative power of 5-minute energy routine. People like Brad Pierce from Midland, Texas, he writes, "I've had chronic cold and flu symptoms for so long I can't even remember when they started. I was also showing visible signs of aging and fatigue, and it was embarrassing. But that's when I found the 5-minute energy routine. I followed the simple steps, and all of a sudden I had the energy I needed again. I'm also healing much faster from cuts and wounds, and my cold and flu symptoms have practically disappeared. I haven't taken a single medication in months." And Kurt Lackey from Santa Fe, New Mexico, he writes, "I purchased the 5-minute energy routine not really knowing what I was getting myself into. But to my surprise, it was really easy to follow, and it only took me 5 minutes a day to practice. And to be honest, the benefits have been incredible. My memory has improved, and I no longer feel like I'm slipping into dementia or something worse. I've also lost 8 pounds, and my wife can't even keep up with my newfound sex drive. Thank you so much." Those are just a few of the thousands of testimonials I receive each month from people who've gotten a complete makeover on their physical and mental health, thanks to the 5-minute energy routine program. And just to be clear, there's nothing like it in existence. Once you start practicing the simple breathing techniques you'll find inside the program, including the life-changing Neigong exercises, which were developed by ancient villagers in Shaidi and helped them to live well into their 70s, 80s, 90s, or beyond, you'll be able to strengthen your immune system and thus protect yourself from the appearance of aging as well as other possibly dangerous illnesses. And you'll be doing it without paying $1,200 a year in medications or spending $13,000 or more for intensive, dangerous medical procedures or operations, or shelling out $2,200 each year in doctor's visits and health insurance premiums. Look, here's the cold, hard truth. As we get older, our bodies tend to start breaking down. And whether it's arthritis, insomnia, chronic fatigue, or something much more serious like heart disease or cancer, it's only a matter of time until your health, your confidence, and your freedom may be gone forever. From the very first day you begin practicing the simple exercises inside 5-Minute Energy Routine, you'll understand why this powerful protocol has been used for so many centuries. And given that this revolutionary protocol can be used for the rest of your life from the comfort of your own home, you'll be able to see why I originally planned to charge $297 for access to the 5-Minute Energy Routine program. Given that it may save you thousands of dollars over the next year and even more over the coming decades, I absolutely think $297 is an incredible bargain. But here's the good news. You're not going to have to invest anywhere near that $297 amount to start using the 5-Minute Energy Routine program for yourself right now. You see, the techniques in this program have been used by village elders in China for thousands of years. And when I was taught these life-changing secrets, I was also given a great responsibility, which is to get 5-Minute Energy Routine into the hands of as many people across the world as I possibly could, so others can experience the same amazing benefits that I did. That means there's just no way I could ask people to pay the full $297 for this life-saving program, especially in today's society where people are in need of a simple system that helps more than ever. So instead of asking you to pay $297 or $197 or even $97 for immediate access to 5-Minute Energy Routine, if you act right now, while this website is still online, you'll be able to get immediate, unrestricted access to the entire 5-Minute Energy Routine program, the simple exercises, the breathing techniques, and everything else for just $49. Get started immediately by clicking the yellow button you see below the screen right now. You'll then be taken to the secure order page where you'll enter your basic information. And once that's done, you'll gain access to a members-only section of this website where you'll have instant access to the entire program. You'll be able to view everything right from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Plus, you can also download the entire program or print out extra copies to share with your family and friends. And on top of that, your investment today will also be covered by a full 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. It works like this. Right now, you just say maybe by clicking that yellow button. Once you do that, you'll have unlimited access to the 5-Minute Energy Routine program in just a couple of minutes. Then, try these simple exercises for yourself tonight. Follow the internal martial arts techniques, then follow the breathing exercises that you can do anywhere, at home, in your car, at work, wherever. Just imagine how much better you'll feel as you wake up each morning and go through your day feeling more energized, more balanced, more focused. Imagine feeling younger and having a renewed sense of optimism and vitality for life. And if for any reason you're not satisfied with your decision here, simply send an email to the private address I'll give you inside 5-Minute Energy Routine's members-only area, and I will instantly refund your entire investment with 0 questions asked. I'm taking all of the risk, and the only thing you have to lose here is your opportunity to get started. But you do need to seize that opportunity right now. Make this life-changing decision to invest in the 5-Minute Energy Routine program today by clicking the yellow button below this presentation. You've reached the end of this presentation, and I want to thank you for your time. No matter which way you go on this, whether you take this opportunity to completely upgrade every single cell of your body in the next 3 weeks, or leave this page and keep hoping for things to change on their own by using your same old methods, I sincerely wish you the best. Sincerely, Eric Claiborne. Still here? It's okay. I can imagine this presentation was quite different from other ones you've seen before. With that being said, let me take a minute or so to go ahead and answer some of the most common questions I get asked. 1. So, tell me again, what is the science behind 5-Minute Energy Routine? The main component of the 5-Minute Energy Routine is blood flow manipulation. What this means is that you may redirect blood flow through your body with a series of controlled movements and breathing. This may also increase blood flow to your vital organs, specifically your lymphatic system, which may improve your blood flow circulation throughout your body, giving you better stamina, energy, and mental focus. 2. What's included inside 5-Minute Energy Routine? Inside, you'll be shown the 10 Neigong exercises known only to the most remote regions of rural China. These have been passed down for hundreds of years and are based on the art of internal martial arts. But they've been scientifically shown to possibly increase blood flow to all of the vital organs in the body, strengthen the immune system, and increase your body's resistance to infection and disease. You'll get detailed, illustrated instructions for how to perform each exercise. Next, you'll receive a list of 7 breathing exercises that you can do anywhere, at home, your car, your work, wherever, and that have been shown to further increase blood flow. 3. What's the money-back guarantee again? Once you hit the yellow button, you'll gain instant access to the entire program. From there, you have 60 days to try out the 5-Minute Energy Routine. And if you're not happy for any reason, simply send an email to the address you'll get inside, and I'll immediately refund your entire investment with 0 questions asked. 4. So how do I get started? Just click the yellow button below and get instant 100% risk-free access within seconds.